Okay, 8:28 Dutch time, GMT plus 2, 26th of April 2019, and I'm talking to you. And the theme is ahimsa. Is it non-violence? And it is interesting in this vehicle, consciousness, awareness, presence, to identify phenomena it calls violence from the outside surroundings. Some people might describe my actions as violent. Some have described that. Now what I'm more and more talking about and discovering, sharing, is the trust in the path of life. You might refer and go back to Karma Yoga, Krishna talking to Arjuna, of do your role, do your task, people will get killed anyway. We are a creature or a phenomena that describes phenomena. There is something that teachers have talked before me and will talk after me. Well, I'm talking in the moment, or it is talking through me, and I use the naming of the phenomena of a teacher. And it seems that I was given or taught myself, well, the language that I'm speaking now, ABC, Latin happened to be. In order to describe to you something. It might be the green grass outside, or the blue-gray sky, or the interpretation of supposedly more abstract phenomena as violence or peace. Our human phenomena, even the thing we call human, again, we are trapped. We're trapped in the trap of the snake biting its own tail with language. The only way to escape it, if one wishes to escape it, is silence. or the thing we named silence, which might be the absence of sound, of maybe our own body being silent or produces, or our own voice like now pushing air through this mechanism to construct sounds, and with these sounds produce concepts, music, stories, facts, beliefs. And we are trapped in this limitation. This is the jailhouse. And once you see that to begin with, then again, identification is the first step. Nothing to do about it, since it is already happening. But you wish to skip the steps and try to resolve violence, for example, because it's mostly about resolutions, before you see that it's just an interpretation of some phenomena. And once you already interpret it, it's already gone, changed. But you still remain with the wish to do something. You're not willing, as a human being, and I'm inducting from my own experience, in the illusion of, I'm human, you are human. Maybe if I look at this green grass, violent phenomena, words, sounds. And the limitation of mind interpreting experience, or the mechanics of mind interpreting mechanics, reality, the music we would like to call it, the story we would like to call it. So I do hear internally a construct that I believe, someone has conditioned me to speak like that. Someone has taught me that. Maybe not in the English language, maybe in the Hebrew. Ani, ma'amin. Not stay with e, I, U, O. Since the mind also sees how when it constructs this music, these sounds, it creates an impact on the movement outside itself and inside. Yeah. That's where duality also maybe starts. But again, this is just storytelling. And we have this story music box. Yeah. Now I do listen to my own music box. And I use words that someone has taught me. I haven't invented any of these words. Consciousness, grass, violent, hurt, love, belief, I, be, you, me. English language, just English language. And we switch languages. And even the body's language. It's just a phenomenon. The paradox, in a sense, that once this state occurs, a state that I'm making my believable attempts to describe to you. But when I go out there and I meet you, and you also meet me, yeah? We are dancing that. I'm constantly producing music, even when no, my box doesn't produce these sounds that now you might interpret sounds. You don't stay still. Something is happening. That is that. And it seems in the way that I don't know if it's in the yoga referred to ahamkara, or where was it, ego, but in the yoga language, not the human design language, but they are interrelated in a sense, of the ego with the sense of the lower self, on the material plane, on this is me, not the higher self that is, it's not really that. And these are abstract concepts. You might not grasp them. You might as well grasp them. And to be present, to see, maybe in a sattvic way, yeah? Illuminated, siddhic. Maybe it's just a presence. It doesn't matter how we use our sounds to describe it, and it does, because it does seem to make an impact on the movement when I describe or produce these kind of musical stories, rhythmically, unrhythmically, how you want to call it, it doesn't matter, and we still call it. There's no escaping this. You see? The only escape is seeing it. And when you speak, I hear, sometimes not as clear as when I'm speaking, and hearing my own, maybe lack of seeing. I see the natural pattern in its survival of simply seeing things for what they are. Just as one phenomena. Why I don't know. Why the grass is green. Why I see this thing and I call it even green, I don't know. But I see it is happening. I see when I talk to you, we look outside maybe this window next time, and we'll see this color, and oh yeah, it's green. Oh, cool. Yeah. Okay, that creates a movement that we can go along that movement, because we agree that grass is green. And sometimes when, hey, you are late. No, I'm not late. Yes, you are. No, I'm not. A discrepancy in patterns, and there are many like that. Yeah? Nice word that you taught me. Reciprocity. Yeah, the relationship, in a sense of I don't know, give and take, of duality. And I do sense that when I see and I speak in this way of producing music, something is altered in the way I see as I speak internally. interpretation of my physical presence, my physical sensation, my mental sensation, perhaps also my emotional, maybe my spiritual. Again, just a name. As I watch outside through the what seems to be someone seems to call my eyes, my body, and then the next object that might hit them, since the air or the neutrinos or all that, or ultraviolet or infrared frequencies that I don't see, I see the net of the window. Again, other things, but I'm bringing a focus for a moment. And I see the net, and outside the net of the window, I see the window itself, and I see maybe the grass, and then behind the grass the brown land and electrical poles behind, but it's not reality. And it is, you see. It's just about seeing, and I'm talking about seeing and believing, but whether it's knowing, factual truth, how you want to name it, doesn't really matter. Yeah? Matter. It has been talked about, it has been studied, it has been investigated, it has been described, this dimensional illusion of, when I see a photo, the mind, the brain. Scientists have described that the brain is interpreting that as, I can go in the depth, and I see the car moving, and the memory of this small car, because I see it about 500 meters from me now, estimating, you see, space and time, and I see there is a change in the frame that I see. Sometimes it's a change that we interpret as violent, since there is an impact on my perception, on my physical, mental, emotional state, on my human form, or consciousness, or whatever we'd like to name it. Again, naming does not matter, and since that it does matter, because it seems that this box that produces stories and sounds and conversation or communication is there for a reason to reason. So I can describe you this car is moving, and it's behind the bushes, and you can see what I'm talking about. Or I can describe what I hear inside my head as something's going on in that. Or maybe someone looked at an object, this insect for the first time, and it called it, the churulululu. And boom, next time everyone in the world know what churulululu is. Again, it's in the senses of our perception, and there's no goal in it. Describing it is the goal. Violence is for the sake of violence. Trauma is for the sake of trauma. Sometimes I touch these words that produce a certain vibration that I see that trigger people. It triggers anyway, but seems to create a more high frequency of vibration, if I'll put it that way. Disturbance, perhaps. Again, it's just a pattern. Once you see the pattern itself, that's it. It's just a pattern. Fight fire with fire, but no fighting. You just see. Something you'll do. Maybe you'll pour water on it. Maybe you'll pull back. Maybe you'll shout. Something will happen. Maybe you'll die. Maybe you'll be afraid. Maybe you will laugh. Maybe you will pee in your pants. Maybe all together. Again, just possibilities. It does not matter. And when I talk to you out there, you talk to me, and I interpret your music, it seems like it does matter. Like you haven't found that it does not matter yet. In the sense the matter, the frequency is more high vibrated, and maybe you're looking to balance it with lower frequencies, or oh, it's so dull, tamasic, and lower frequencies, so you're looking for the high frequency, and get it active, and there's no sattvic in there, there's no purity. And then you try to estimate or evaluate or compare what is sattvic. How can I find this balance, but you're still only on one side of the coin? Because you still don't see, or you still don't be. Yeah? Whatever comes first, I don't know. Is it the seeing that allows the being? Is it the being that suddenly allows seeing? Again, it's just in our mental construction, and I've started this journey from ahimsa, from violence, and so far haven't spoken even about strategy and authority of human design, of listening to the body. It seemed to be the tool to balance the equation. So it does not matter anymore. And then this consciousness, this awareness, this human being, me, I, can go visit also things that have been spoken to it and it was not available or present to hear, since this was what it was. Of yoga, of vipassana, of Bhagavad Gita, of this and that. In a language form. More supposedly complicated puzzle. And then I can visit and revisit also seeing babies and children around me, and the conditioning we put on them, with these letters, with these sounds, with these shapes. That is also, again, it is what it is. It is how it will describe itself. And I have to deal with you. And you have to deal with me. This is the bargain of being humans. I have to deal with the chair and the house and the grass I see and the clouds veiling the sun and the seasons change, and I have to deal with you. Without running away anywhere, or sometimes running away somewhere. And I have to live my life. Because it continues. The body does not let that. I'm not, this thing doesn't kill itself now. Not ready for that. Lives life, okay, moment by moment. As I wrote recently, patient, observing patiently the impatience. And I have to deal with you. All you out there, you have to deal with me. What's your name? I don't know. Oh, come on. Okay. That interpretation of your reality is... that interpretation of your reality. Again, it's a journey to trust that also what you experience is it, and what you speak is it. That is just matter and spirit and whatever. That it will always be measured, or not. I'm present to, or I observe this thing inside of me that measures. This was created these sensations with, okay, wow, she's being violent to me. Wow, this produces this laughter, as I realized before. Again, the mind is as much as untrustworthy, this voice box inside ourselves, as much as it is trustworthy. Again, once you see a phenomenon as a phenomenon, you see a phenomenon as a phenomenon. A rose is a rose is a rose, and Shakespeare has wrote about it or played about it. But the rose is also not a rose. The rose is not a rose, and not the rose, and not the rose. I've got these children books now, and one of the recent I've read was Little Miss Contrary and the Confused Guest by Roger Hargreaves. Yeah. Would like to check it out? Would you? Should you? Yeah. Yeah. Little Miss Contrary. Okay, there's also Little Miss Stubborn. It's a great, fantastic series that I bought for myself, for my daughter, for myself. And it seems that there are actions, karma yoga, there are actions that we do that produce maybe this equanimity, compassion, balance, sattvic, relaxed, comfortable, satisfied, happy, not happy, present, conscious, aware states. Again, how many words? Come on, sounds. And I am talking that to myself, to the window, to you, recording again to this machine. That this message is supposed to go out, maybe to one of you, two of you, all of you, to you. Again, I speak to you. This you is fantastic. And if you know this I, that I am, then you already see how you're trapped in the illusion, because there are people who don't know this I am, and they will try, also your mind, to label it. That's what the memory is doing. Looking so it won't forget. So also last time, create a continuity on this timeline. But I am recording to you. Don't be mistaken. Yeah, to you. You don't realize that I record to you. No. This is not the language we speak. You don't talk personally to me. You don't. No. I don't trust that. Okay, your trust, your experience, your personal experience. And I see how I am a reactive creature, reacting to sounds and vibration, and let alone with humans, where there is again a discrepancy in the pattern inside me that creates a sensation. I don't know, maybe creates a high, maybe it's a low frequency. Gurdjieff maybe talk the negative emotion, but I'm a sewer. I'm already filtering most of your junk, allowing myself even to call it junk. Yeah? maybe we'll call it negative emotions for that matter. It's kind of a frequency in music that if we'll put several of several of us out there and talk, we'd be able to identify it and perhaps call it, some of us would call negative emotions or negative frequency, and put it on this label and compare it with positive. Well, there's actually none. There is just a production of movement or happening of movement. But it seems as a human phenomena we have to go through this positive, negative, tamas, rajas, bad, good, in order to reach sattvic. But be aware, and beware, this sattvic is also a comparison in and of itself, because this is also the attachment and the non-attachment also exist in this sattvic level, because it generates more of a pleasant sensations that to be compared with sattvic state, with a state of being more in tamasic rajasic movement, if I term that in the yoga language. And then a new game unfolds. Again, it's a loop. But once you see it's a loop, 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 and you're just riding the roller coaster. And it seems that this me, consciousness thing that speaks with these sounds, and well, I might be reading that from a board, a plate, what I'm speaking. I don't know, maybe this board is inside my head. Or maybe someone is pulling the strings for me to tell that. And it's written already. There is a screenplay. It's clear for me there is. Yeah, it was clear for the teachers who spoke to me that they cannot set me free, and it's clear for me that I cannot set you free, and I'm not here to do that. I'm only here to tell you, hey, do you see the green grass? Yeah, and? Do you see the green grass? Yeah, and? That's it. Do you see the green grass? That's the madness. That's just it. Okay, do you experience what the green grass is doing to you? Yes, and? That's it. Do you experience the green grass? Now you can take this equation and, okay, do you experience what your partner is doing to you? Yes, and? That's it. Do you see what your partner is? Yes, and? That's it. Something will happen. But it's so dumb and stupid, and the mind is getting caught in, let's do something about it. Not let's be present to that experience and what we see from that experience. If we use this experiencing and seeing in nature speaking, that's just a construct of the mind. Observing experience and talking about what it observed in all your unique forms. It does it anyway. It does it also when it tries to impact reality with its negative interpretation of emotions and sensations. So it's happening anyway. Yeah. It seems that for me, in this limited edition that I am, limited edition. That's nothing more, nothing. It's just a limited edition. That this sewer filter filters that. And again, there was one story, maybe it was in This book of the yogi. How is it called? Yeah, Autobiography of a Yogi by Pramashana Yogananda. Yeah, wow. Coming through that. Wow, what a phenomena, that we take for granted. Memory, and these neurons firing and creating the stories. And there was a story there, as my memory leads me to believe, that a guru that met a sick person, a very sick person. Yeah, they named this consciousness a guru, whatever. And it was not a Pramashana Yogananda, but his teacher or something. And he was able to suck the disease, I call it suck, from the other person. And again, it took a toll on the physical form of that yogi teacher, that for 3 days he was in bed as it appeared to be dying. And that person that was about to supposedly die from this disease was immediately healed. But these gurus and the disciples, the students, were worried for him, and that the guru might die. And after 3 days of sucking it, bloop, it was gone. The guru managed to be a filter for the sewer for this disease, and it seems for me that, again, the mind doesn't want it, my own mind, my own storytelling, but life brings me to this place where there's a sewer filter is necessary. Yeah? You don't put again, there is a difference in the impact. If you take a sewer filter system, you put it in India, or in places where water are contaminated, or in Africa, and where you put it, okay, let's put it here in Daufen, Netherlands, where the water are relatively, the system is fresh. Yeah? And you might say, yeah, where is it more necessary? I don't give an answer about that. Where it is necessary. But and it was spoken before me. Yeah? It is written already. It is being offered by different methods. But it seems, again, business-wise, that renovations and innovations are a necessary part of any business. Maybe even the business of awakening consciousnesses, of survival of consciousness, of bringing people to be present, or whatever we want to call it. Enlightened, awakened themselves. My own mind, my own box, my own chattering box, yeah, as in the Vipassana, after 10 days we refer to it a noble chattering. And the experiment and the practice of Vipassana already go through myself. Whether I do use this closing of the eyes, sitting 1 hour and da-da-da-da-da-da, or whether I'm following human design now and da-da-da-da-da, and da-da-da-da-da, it's in the system. Or the yoga, or sitting in this posture or that posture, or changing, or breathing pranayama, this tool or that tool. Yeah. This is just dharana, this is just a different tool to get one focused, supposedly, in this game towards samadhi. Yeah. It seems that my interpretation of my consciousness, my own language, that, for example, Rao Wuhu didn't have, and he was what his own system described a pure individual, didn't have the experience of yoga, he didn't have the knowledge there. Later on maybe studied or learned about it or heard about it, investigated that, but it is there. Yeah, so he spoke about it in his own unique way and differently, and eventually dying from a heart attack in age of 61 for whatever that matters, because it does not and it does, and it does not and it does, because when there's no goal, there's no 60 or 90. Also in your what is it, 60 90 60 or 90 60 90 in fashion, human, female, blah blah blah, or in the 69 of the, I don't know if it's from the Kama Sutra or from the or from a sexual interpretation of positions. Anyways, again, it's just the phenomena of languages, and I started from ahimsa, from violence, and I'm rereading at this point a bit the sutras. I've done it, the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, and the messages are clear as much as the messages on a Little Miss Stubborn and Little Miss Contrary, because again, these are just shapes, there's constructs, just sounds, just music. When you just trust, yeah, I use the word trust, you just trust the path moving through you, yeah, or you move through the path, whatever you want to, wherever you want to look at it, whatever you are looking at it. And it seems to me that when you come in this balance of junk and sewer system, there is a filter necessary to produce different kind of filtered consciousness, filtered water, filtered movement, yeah, for the sake of the phenomena itself, of the mechanism. Yeah. And there are some sewer filters out there, consciousness sewer filters, that able to take that, and instead of being, yeah, the junk keep pouring unfiltered well, it is filtered anyways. Mostly these recordings I record for myself. And I listen to that to sometimes remind and rewind the mind of myself when it forgets that it is happening. And it's also my journey, my journey in journal and diaries and recorded ones, and maybe when it will eventually, the idea floats in my head of taking the recordings and write them. Now it's in this more in the soundscape, and it will be maybe in the written. There is something different when it's constructed into a book and letters and shapes, and maybe it will all be gone eventually. And as I wrote one time also about the epitaph of truth, where there will be nothing maybe written on the epitaph there, in the gravestone of the truth when it dies eventually, and there will be no seekers after the truth. Maybe not in our human form cycle, maybe it is. And it's a lucky business, a lottery game, and you're filling this ticket every day since you're born, punching it, in this working business of life. I am, and it keeps forgetting, and it sees sometimes that it keeps forgetting, and it's yeah. And these are the messages. These are the messages. But you won't be awakened because of me, or through me, or with me. It's on your own. again, as much as it is luck, it is work. But it is luck that you go on a working path. And once you go on a working path, it's like, boom, oh, luck, whew, it happened. So you go, yeah, now I see this pink shape, which I interpret to be a human being, maybe 500 meters, a kilometer away, so small, and I can call it human being. Oh, it's gone. And it goes running, it does its thing. You do your thing. You do your thing, there's no other way. Yeah? You follow your strategy, your authority, and you see this tool might happen. You go with your ahas, you follow I don't know meditation, and you experiment and answering I don't know to open questions and seeing how the mental, or you go silent, you bring vipassana to your daily life when the tool there of silent, and you see how things are happening. You go to a secure, more secured territory of a retreat, or you may do it in your daily life. You know? I've had my set of lucks and tools and works and efforts, and it is all until it is all happening. You know? And then I'm being called, oh, a brave journey. I have been named that. Yeah. But karma yoga is karma yoga is karma yoga. Your path is your path is your path. You tread on your path. It's not brave, it's not cowardice, it's nothing. It is. And it's also not your path, it's just something. Yeah. And I haven't really done anything to be where I am, or deserve even to be where I am. It just is. But it seems on the storyline that there was a path of 35 years and the journey that I went through. And it still sometimes scares the shit out of my mind. I'm like, no, let's stay in the real world, quote unquote, where we're still looking for something, and the mind does its trick of pulling me there. Okay, and I see, because the mind has its connection internally, and we interpret it, and maybe we call it pituitary gland, and maybe we call it basic fears and anxieties and nervousness, and then it sees inside something. It's like taking over. It's so powerful. Okay, and calling and WhatsApp messages and emails and talking with someone, but seeing that happening as it happens, and like a flood, a storm that only happens. Yeah? There's no goal to stay in this place. There's no goal for that. This is the trip and the trick of awakeness. There's none of that. You still go, well, I still go to the toilet and shit, and I still sometimes so-called I don't know if I shit my pants when somebody screams at me anymore, but yeah, I do have my own unpleasant sensations when someone gets angry, or someone, the tone of voice is like, but I'm with that. It is what it is at that moment, and it is different than it was in the memory storyline a year or 2 years or 4 years ago. As Goenka told in his Vipassana, you observe Anapana and Vipassana and the breath and body sensations, and you see the anger reduced from a week to a day, to an hour, to 2 minutes, to a second. And Rao Ru talked about his own anger through human design experiment or experience both, and how his anger was reduced for a lifetime, to a year, to a month, to a he said now he sees in few seconds it's gone. He had this journey of sharing it without the enlightened tools. These tools we have out there of yoga, vipassana, this nice way tools, soft voice, this nice voice of Ra, this sarcastic, which I sometimes start also talking about after experiencing Goenka and Vipassana and Rao and human design and a bit Byron Katie and the work of Byron Katie, and now listening, and also to Osho, listening to lectures, and Ellen Watson, I went on my, it went on its search, whatever it needed to follow. Until it just sees the green grass outside, through the window, through the net, through the eyes that it cannot see them, or the eyes, but it's clear the eyes and the brain and the function and da-da-da-da-da. Just for the sake of it, for that phenomenon that I am describing now. That is the power of the now, of I am. And I know that I am. And I know that I have the power to be I am in the now for myself. That's survival. That's it. Now, yeah, bring on all the layers. Great. Again, constructing it in human design language, yeah, but others also. I am that. Whatever in this. You go on with the story about Om and God and strategy and inner authority and Vipassana and enlightenment. Okay, yeah, we go on with the story. As the story says. So, yeah, a journey to you too.